everyone, welcome back to our channel startuplanes.com. I'm Namrata and I'm taking interviews of the CEOs and founders of several innovative startups in India. In today's interview, I'll be talking with Mr. Apar Gupta, a biker, a researcher, and now a proud founder of Blu Ocean Studios. Blu Ocean Studios is a DPIIT recognized startup that deals in wellness and healthcare industry. Even the MSME has recognized the startup as an outstanding innovation in the healthcare sector. You want to know what Blu Ocean Studios does? Let's get into the video.
Hello, sir. Thank you for joining today. I'm Namrata and I'll be taking your interview. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, Namrata. Thanks for this opportunity. Hi guys, my name is Apar Gupta and I'm the founder at Blu Ocean Studios Private Limited. So this is a company into some innovations into the healthcare and wellness industry primarily. And of course, it's been a roller coaster ride so far because for people, it might be a startup. For us, it's definitely not just a startup. It's much more than that because we're working hard to altogether establish a new ecosystem in the areas we have been working. And I think, the name also justifies, like the Blu Ocean name has been taken from a Blu Ocean marketing strategy. Blu Ocean Studios comes from Blu Ocean marketing strategy, which is to do something unique and innovative. But aside to this word unique or innovative or novel, I think the best word that describes what exactly we are trying to do is the authentic. Because we don't believe in control C, control V. That's first thing we hate doing. So we want to create something so that others can follow. I mean, altogether a new ecosystem, a very healthy ecosystem in whichever area we would be operating. Of course, primarily it's healthcare. So that's I'd like to tell.
Right. So how did you come up with the idea of this?
So during my career with the healthcare industry, I could realize that there is a dire need to fill several gaps we have in the system, which includes lack of medical research, inadequate government's contribution to healthcare sector, and the neglecting of the rural population. And this further led me to believe in the notion of focusing on a revamped startup ecosystem with an exemplary research pipeline, which not just focuses on the money-making aspects, but also is upstanding and identifying and solving the real-world problems. So I'm actually here trying to make the next leap in my career with an innovative lens of identifying and solving and adapting evolving needs. Adapting to the evolving needs of my customer base with, as I said, authentic healthcare solutions. And primarily the focus onto some, to provide solution to some stubborn concerns such as cancer.
Right. So were there any difficulties that you had faced in the beginning?
Yeah, there were a wide variety of challenges. So as I initially quoted that it had been a roller coaster ride. Of course, we are still facing a lot of challenges. Because most of the people you approach for funding, because of course for any startup, funds is the primary concern. And to me, because this startup was not thought about, I never thought about that there is a need for another startup to become insanely rich, right? Like what normally most of the heedless startups think about, and to go for an eye-popping evaluations and exit. So definitely that's not the concern of Blu Ocean for sure. So whenever we used to approach people, the first question everybody asks is how scalable you are, which is right. But nobody dares to ask how many lives can you save. I think that is something which is really required with the startup ecosystem. The world is going through a strange phase. We all know that. And I think the thought process needs to be changed. This is what probably, I personally feel that the all these calamities, be the COVID virus or anything else, they are imposing this question onto the mankind, that you have to change your thought process in terms of everything. A shift, there needs to be a complete shift in the entire, the way the world has been living so far. And I think we can see that everything has gone online. There had been a complete upside down. So I think this upside down is just also required in your thought processes. So of course, we are not saying that, every startup is making money. I'm sure you will make more money than selling a solution related to cancer than selling momos or biryani. But at least you should be having that sort of a thought process. That's very important. So I think because when this company was planned about, when the idea was being thought about, I was having only 12 rupees in my pocket. And it was very challenging for me, that how I'm going to make this, next moves. But so far, I would say that thanks to Almighty, things are being taken care of. But I think one concern which is still there is, yes, that most of the venture capitalists or the other groups who show some primary interest in this, their first question is, how much money we gonna make? Nobody asked this most important question, which I am looking forward, is that how many lives we can save in a year. So I think that's primarily which is a concern and a challenge.
Well, if I may, what is the motivation? What motivated you to start this startup?
So there are a lot of motivational factors. My personal motivational factors are several. As I said that I feel there is a gap of for the a lot of malpractices and corruption with the healthcare industry primarily, which I have seen closely, and the lack of authentic solutions and inventions in the industry. And I think the lack of altogether, people have been just working with the existing ecosystems, be it into any area. But something that really motivated me, which I really would like to quote, is that a few years back I was watching a Hollywood movie, John Wick, and there were these three words: focus, commitment, and sheer will. So I think that was one of my big motivational factor. I know people might laugh because some of my friends and colleagues, they do laugh at it, but that's a factor because I'm a real-time admirer for Keanu Reeves. And very recently, in fact, I had a discussion with him one-to-one on emails, and that motivated me further. Right. So I think because he is also a supporter to cancer research and all, so I think altogether, it was like that. I thought about, okay, of course, it's just a movie, but these three words, they really pushed me to my limits that, okay, I'll try to do something. So even though, so that there are no regrets. So I think it's been, as I said, it's been a roller coaster journey so far, but really exciting so far. We have come up with, we are one of the intellectual property rich startup, having filed several patents, copyrights and trademarks. But what we really take pride upon is that we are having some really authentic solutions for the healthcare, and primarily when I talk about the brands like Care and all.
Right. So if you had to explain your business model to me, how would you do that?
So we provide authentic way of working to provide authentic healthcare solutions. And a primarily business model, what we are working on is that we are developing a technology that can control any animal cell, which is a very authentic concept, and which means that this could also be the answer to the most stubborn concern, such as cancer. So the business model, what exactly we are trying to quote here is that we are primarily working on some healthcare projects. Of course, Cell Kinetics is the name of this project. And We are also working on some other healthcare projects. For example, Care, which focuses on bringing down the hospitalization and healthcare costs by 80 to 90% in India. So, for example, if somebody goes to a hospital and, of course, they are charged an amount of 15,000 as a room rent, okay, which is not actually a hospital, it's a five-star hotel. So that cost can come down to 1,200 rupees or 1,000 rupees. So again, a patent has been filed for that. So these are the kind of models we are working upon, and we are really hopeful that this could turn around the landscape of the healthcare ecosystem, primarily in India. The kind of models we are working on, they are highly scalable, they are exceptionally unique, and as far as for the interest of most of the venture capitalists, that they can generate huge amount of revenue in profits, lot of profits. It's not just that they will, this particular ideas or concepts or products or services will only give them valuations. No, aside to valuation, they will also give profits. But what is most important to me, this is important for the other people who are just hungry about money. I'm hungry about saving human lives. For me, that's the primarily and the only factor. So, which is that whatever we are working on, the ultimate aim is to save human lives. So that's I think if somebody will ask me, that's my business model, saving human lives. You may call it any marketing strategy and all, whatever you want to tell it. That's your area.
Other than the products and services you have mentioned already, is there any other thing that the company provides?
So, as I said that, Namrata, we are working on a new market. So, we are creating a new ecosystem. And primarily, of course, we are working into the healthcare projects. So, we haven't thought about some other areas. But our honest attempt or work is primarily into a novel and authentic healthcare ecosystem where it is able to address the existing loopholes and malpractices at every level of the healthcare institution. And of course, we are not making any drug or any pharmaceutical drug and all. We are improving the system through inventions, novel inventions, through concepts, through ideas, through projects, various projects, through brands, whatever you may call it, associated to the healthcare industry, with the primary focus on cell kinetics. That's the one of our innovation which we are working, that can control any animal cell.
Right. So what is your target customer?
So our target customers include, consumers who are seeking the healthcare and wellness services. So Glamira is one of our brands for the wellness services, for example. So anybody who is looking out for the wellness and beauty services, for them there is Glamira. A patent has been filed to that, and it's again an authentic ecosystem into the beauty and wellness industry. And the major idea behind Glamira was, of course, to improve the wellness industry, but aside, so that we can raise more revenue with the Glamira project, and the revenue so raised could be used to develop the cell kinetics technology further.
Right. So if I'm a consumer, I'm a customer, give me reasons why I should go with you. Why should I choose you?
So I think primarily the major factor would be the authenticity and the uniqueness of our concepts and our services, which probably are absent or don't exist with most of the healthcare service providers or the product providers. Then we are entirely working on a new perspective, altogether a new perspective for the treatment for concerns such as cancer and other problems. So the most important factor for us, for any other person to look for us, is that we are offering which no one has ever thought about or is willing or planning to offer them. So which is, as I told you, that providing an altogether a new novel hospital and healthcare ecosystem, and with new altogether with new set of innovations into the healthcare industry. So as I said, because uh, I've personally seen very recently during the COVID times that how the Indian hospital ecosystem, what they have done, okay, with COVID, need not to mention. And there had many cases, of course, what on one side when they have done good, on the other side they have done things on which they could have improved, right? So, and there are similar such kind of things into the hospital and healthcare ecosystem. So I think that's primarily what we are focusing upon. And our major focus again is that what I said, that we are not looking for some eye-popping valuations or exit as of now. Whatever revenues we can raise from our current concepts and brands, they would be immediately pumped to develop a technology that can control animal cell, and the applications of such technology would be endless. It's not just that you can cure cancer. I think you can do multiple things with such technology. Probably you can regrow an amputated limb, you can redevelop a damaged organ, and it's not just related to the human biology. This particular technology has wide area of applications. I mean, you could even explore if we can control any plant cell, and if we can do so, because any technology that sounds very hard, they may sound like a science fiction today, but it could be the reality of tomorrow, right? So you should never underestimate something. And besides, as few months back, some group of researchers have identified us as a hard tech startup. So we are actually a hard tech startup. I mean, technologies which are very difficult to be turned into reality. But if so happens, I think there is something for everyone. So people who are looking out for just money, of course, for them there is a lot of money. People who are looking out for technology, for them there is a technology, because we are a team of people who are just majorly hungry about new technologies and innovations.
Right. What are the 3 things that you think make your company unique?
So I think first thing is the authenticity again, that we are true to our name, we are trying to be unique, okay. And second thing is that we believe in talent. I personally believe that talent is inborn. So no one can train someone, okay, or no one can teach someone. That's what I've been led to believe, let's say. So let's say we hire people based on their talents rather experience and education. So there had been people with us, it's a very short team, small team, but there had been people with us who might be just graduates, but they are working on a managerial position. So as I said, that we are trying to establish here altogether a new ecosystem. So if somebody is having an experience of 15 years, yet they lack all those skills which are required, so they have no use for the company. Okay, so it's like we are only hungry for skills and talent, and experience and education that can be worked out anytime. But what most important factor is to drive the cause for which we are working is, that's what I've quoted, skills and talent.
Right. You are talking about the scope of hiring people. So if I'm an applicant, why should I join?
So I think I've already given you some good reasons, right? That we are now. I think the first question any company asks is, what is your experience? What is your education, right? And if you are an applicant here, and I would simply see that Namrata is having some beautiful skills into communication and persuasive skills. So I think without a doubt, I'll say that Namrata, please, I would be really, the company would be really honored if you could join here in the respective department vertical as this and this position. So I think experience is just a relative document for us, but it won't serve much of the purpose here at Blu Ocean if you have skills and talent.
Right. Now, one interesting question for you is that if you are not doing this business, what do you see yourself doing?
So if I wouldn't have been a part of Blue Ocean, I think I would still be working something related to developing this technology somewhere. Maybe as a freelancer or associated with some other company. But I really would like to work on the technology that had been in my mind since I was in 7th or 8th standard. That probably cancer is actually caused by this number of reasons rather than genetics or XYZ. So I really want to explore this idea.
Right. Okay. So, what are the products that you like? What are the products or services that you constantly require to run your business properly?
So I think we need various verticals like IT. We are highly dependent on IT, security services, then animation, graphics, design, art. Then aside to that, of course, in the near future, we would be looking out for people who are into the research area, majorly medical research. And we had been earlier dependent on the service providers, as I said, like IT service providers, graphics and animation. But again, the experience has led me to believe that it's always good if you have all these verticals in-house rather than approaching these vendors for their services. It's always good because in India, people are not majorly serious about their work. And in fact, in the current ongoing conditions, when the work from home and other things have been come up to, most of the people take it as an escape route. So of course, as I said, that we are not just a startup. We are in fact working on some big cause to save human lives. So we are looking out for people who are really enthusiastic and self-motivated. We are not having enough time to motivate someone. The person should be self-motivated for the cause we are working. So having said that, I think all these service providers and the services we are looking for, it's good if we have them in-house.
Right. Also, if you could share with me, what are the long-term and short-term goals you have planned for the company?
So our short-term plans, goals are that we are working on 2 unique projects, Glamira and Care. So once we establish them, and we can go for a successful exit for 1 or 2 of these projects, so that we can raise a good amount of revenue, and as I said, that we can invest in developing the technology I've been talking to you, the cell kinetics technology. And I think that's the next 4 years plan. So for me, the long-term plan is in the next 4 years, I'm looking forward that the working prototype of cell kinetics should be in hand, so that we can actually see, because what in papers is different and what it actually comes out, I'm looking forward that it's exactly the same, what exactly I'm thinking about working. So as I said, that I'm looking forward to have a working prototype of cell kinetics technology.
Okay. So I would also like to know about the current funding scenario of the company. Are you raising funds, or are you planning to raise funds?
So yes, definitely we are willing to raise funds. We need oxygen, so immediate oxygen as funds as oxygen for us. And so far, of course, we have been surviving through some self-raised and some short amount of angel investment. But then again, we need a huge amount of investment. We are a confident team of, confident about on our skills and the concepts we are working on. So parallelly, it's like, yes, we are continuously working, but at the same time, we are looking out for potential investors who have a similar vision like us. Of course, as I said, that whatever we are working on, it's highly scalable and would be able to generate huge amount of revenue with profits. But as I said, that most of the people, primarily that is also one challenge we have faced, that most of the people in the Indian startup ecosystem has a keen interest in the food and beverages segment. So even when the world is dying out there, they are only willing to serve them samosas and burgers.
Understood. Well, lastly, I would like to know what are your thoughts on startup planes?
I think it's a very uh, noble thing what they are doing. It's really required in the startup ecosystem because this was a big gap which they're trying to fill. And what I could request to them is that startup lanes, instead of connecting investors in startups, maybe a hard tech startup or a deep tech startup, whatever you may call it. So I think they should be dependent, self-dependent, to, if they're of course willing to arrange a funding for such startups. Because as I said, like for example, startups like us, we are confident in our skills, and we can. As I said, that Blu Ocean was started when there were only 12 rupees in the pocket. So I think, for novel startups, it's novel with everything. So even if the marketing, it's very novel for us. Any startup could spend something around 15 to 20 crores, just to quote a small example, on some YouTube ads and all. We don't need that. We use novel marketing techniques. We have devised our own marketing techniques, our own new marketing, innovative marketing ideas and plans that can save huge amount of money and can serve purposes what even the conventional marketing ideas don't do. They fail to do. And we have done marketing like what, in 40 and 50,000 rupees only. A lot of marketing. So in fact, on first place, I would also try to use the term that we don't need marketing. When you are so unique, when you are doing something really unique, so you don't need to, do any exercise to attract people. They automatically get attracted. You should try to shine out and burn like a sun, so that people are bound to see you. So that's what I think. My request with startup lanes is that if they figure it out, because they are interviewing startups, they are evaluating them. So I think they should be having some sort of a funding system with themselves, so that instead of connecting with the investors and others, they could approach, and they could be the funders. And of course, they can also get the good benefits out of that. Because primarily, I could suggest that any potential startup in its initial journey, I think they are more willing to liquidate their equity, rather than in the later scenario when they have been acknowledged as a unicorn or anything like that. So I think if they can, if startup lanes can come up with something like that.
Okay. Well, that would bring an end to this interview, but it was lovely talking to you. Thank you for taking out time and talking to me and sharing about your visions and about your business ideas.
Thanks, Namrata. It was really great interacting with you. It was a pleasure meeting you, and looking forward that if we can meet face to face in person.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.